The rain fell hard that night, pounding against the old barn roof where Daniel sat alone, his clothes soaked, his hands trembling as he stared at the small notebook in his lap. It was her notebook, the last piece of her he had left. Every page smelled faintly of lavender and hope, filled with sketches of dreams that never came true. The echo of his father's words replayed in his head like a curse. "You're wasting your future." But Daniel didn't believe it. Not then, not now. Because to him, she was his future, and he would rather lose everything than forget the girl who had taught him how to live, how to love, and how to believe again. If you believe in kindness, love, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who still believes that love can change a life. Daniel grew up in a small Ohio town where everyone knew everything about everyone. His father, Richard Hayes, owned one of the largest construction companies in the county. A man of hard hands and harder expectations, he had built his empire from scratch, and he expected Daniel to follow in his footsteps. Go to business school, take over the company, and make the Hayes name even stronger. But Daniel never wanted that. His heart had always belonged somewhere else, in quiet corners of old libraries, under open skies with his camera, or near the laughter of one girl who changed everything. Her name was Lily Parker. She was the daughter of the town's mechanic, known for her kindness, her wild brown hair that danced in the wind, and her dreams of becoming a painter. Daniel met her when they were both 17 in the back of the school art room. She was painting a sunset and he was just passing by. But when she looked up, smiled and said, "Do you ever feel like the sky holds secrets?" He knew, without even understanding why, that his life had just changed. From that day on, Daniel started skipping business lectures to sit with her in the park. They talked about everything: dreams, regrets, fears, and faith. She told him she wanted to paint the world not as it was, but as it could be. He told her he wanted to take pictures that could make people feel. Together, they built a secret world, one brushstroke and photograph at a time. But their happiness was short-lived. When Daniel's father discovered who he was spending his time with, everything fell apart. Richard saw Lily as a distraction, a poor girl from a broken home, not fit for the son of a man like him. One evening, he stormed into Daniel's room, his voice cold and final. "You're wasting your future," he said, throwing the photography scholarship letter Daniel had received onto the bed. "You have a legacy to uphold, Daniel. Not chase after a girl who'll only hold you back." Daniel wanted to argue, but words failed him. That night, he met Lily by the old bridge near the creek. Rain fell softly as he told her what his father had said. She smiled, that small, heart-twisting smile, and whispered, "Maybe your father just doesn't see what you see." She took his hand and placed it on her chest. "But if I'm your distraction, Daniel, then I hope I distract you from everything that hurts." He held her close that night, and for the first time, he realized love wasn't something you chose. It chose you, and it stayed even when the world didn't approve. As months passed, Daniel secretly kept meeting Lily. He took a part-time job at a local diner to help her pay for art supplies. They dreamed of moving to New York together, where she could study painting and he could pursue photography. But when his father found out he was working instead of attending business meetings, the confrontation was brutal. Richard threatened to cut him off entirely. "If you walk out that door for her," he said, pointing toward the driveway, "don't come back. You'll have no family, no future, no name." Daniel paused at the door, his heart breaking. Then quietly, he turned and said the words that would echo for the rest of his life. "She is my future." He left that night, taking nothing but his camera and Lily's hand. They found a tiny apartment above an old bakery downtown. It was small, but it was theirs. Lily painted all day while Daniel took photographs of street life, sunsets, and sometimes her. The way she looked when she laughed, or how the morning light kissed her cheeks. They were poor but happy. Love made every meal taste better, every moment feel warmer. But life, as always, had its own plans. A year later, Lily began feeling weak. At first it was just fatigue, but soon her hands started trembling. Doctors diagnosed her with a rare autoimmune condition that would slowly attack her body. The treatment was expensive, far beyond what they could afford. Daniel sold his camera to pay for her medicine. He worked double shifts at the diner, coming home exhausted but still smiling, because when Lily saw him, she'd forget the pain for a moment. He watched the girl who once painted sunsets struggle to lift a brush. Some nights she'd wake up crying, whispering that she didn't want to be a burden. Daniel would hold her and say, "You're not a burden, Lily. You're my reason." As her condition worsened, Richard found out about his son's struggles through a family friend. He showed up unannounced one afternoon at the hospital where Lily had been admitted. The old man looked around the small room, peeling walls, worn-out chairs, and saw his son sitting beside a frail girl, holding her hand as if it was his last lifeline. "Daniel," his father said quietly, "you can still come home. You don't have to throw everything away for this." Daniel looked up, tears glistening in his eyes. "Everything?" he whispered. "Dad, she is everything." For a long time, Richard said nothing. He just stood there looking at his son, the boy he had raised to be strong, now weaker than ever, but somehow braver than he'd ever been. Then he left, without another word. Weeks turned into months. Lily's health continued to decline. But one evening, as Daniel helped her paint again, she smiled faintly and said, "Promise me something." "Anything," he said. "When I'm gone, don't stop looking for beauty. Even in pain. Promise you'll take your camera again and show the world what love looks like. Even if it hurts," he promised. That night she finished her last painting, a sunrise breaking through storm clouds. She wrote a single line at the bottom. "He saw light even in the rain." A few days later, she passed away in her sleep, holding Daniel's hand. He buried her in a small cemetery on the hill, next to the same field where she once painted wildflowers. For weeks he didn't speak. He didn't take pictures. He just visited her grave every morning, sitting silently beside her, as if waiting for her to speak again. Then one day as the sun rose, Daniel saw something. A young girl sketching near the same hill, her canvas filled with colors that reminded him of Lily. He walked closer and asked her what she was painting. She smiled and said, "The sky holds secrets," the same words Lily had said years ago. Daniel smiled through his tears. That moment, something inside him healed. He took out an old camera, one that Richard had quietly placed at Lily's grave after her funeral, and took a picture of the sunrise. For the first time in months, he felt her presence again. Richard watched from a distance. He had been visiting the grave too, but always when Daniel wasn't there. Seeing his son taking photos again, he finally approached. They stood in silence for a while. Then the old man placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder and said softly, "She would be proud of you." Daniel didn't reply. He didn't have to. The tears in his father's eyes said enough. That day, father and son walked back together, not as a man of legacy and a boy of rebellion, but as two people who had both learned what love truly meant. Years passed. Daniel became a renowned photographer, known not for luxury portraits or fame, but for capturing raw human emotion. His first exhibition was titled "She Is My Future." Every photo was inspired by Lily, her laughter, her colors, her dreams. People from all over came to see it. Among the crowd stood his father, proud and silent, with tears in his eyes. As Daniel stood before Lily's final painting, now framed in gold, he whispered under his breath, "You were right, Lily. The sky really does hold secrets." He looked up at the audience, his heart full, his eyes glistening, and said, "Love doesn't end when someone leaves. It lives in what they taught you. It becomes your future." If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in true love, and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind us what really matters in life. And before you go, tell us in the comments below, do you believe true love can outlive time itself? Because sometimes the people we lose aren't really gone. They just become the light that guides our future.